into another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with head coach Steve Jennings, of course. Coach, we've got a lot to talk about here today, so we're going to get right into it. First things first, Friday night, kind of a wild matchup there. You end up winning 4-3 in overtime. A game that it featured 6 power play goals. None of the 7 goals were scored 5-on-5. Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of a crazy game, especially with such a stingy penalty kill like you guys have had that is still atop the league. But a lot of positives to take away, but some negatives certainly too. What were your takeaways?
Yeah, I thought the penalty kill, we got caught running a couple of times. It took us a while to adjust and shut it down, right? And that's it was uncharacteristic of our kill, and I was glad to see it respond back on Saturday night the way it did. But the good side of it was the power play stepped up, and they had a hot night as well. So that sometimes you have that, right, where one part of the game's maybe not the best, and another group steps up and helps take the lead, right? So we had that, and the resilience of the group, right? These guys are genuinely learning how to be resilient and demonstrate it in their actions and staying in games and pushing. So I was pretty happy with that part. But certainly a game that I thought we could have maybe looked a little bit different, and in terms of the game plan that we had, I think we, both Zach and I thought it would be a different outcome, but in terms of how we played and what we were trying to do. But it was a wild night there for sure.
Well, like you said, it does happen sometimes where one part of the game is lacking a bit and the other steps up, but it's not that common where both teams have the same area lacking and the same area stepping up. It was just nuts to see that many power play goals. But again, a win's a win. You got to love that on the road. Moving on to Saturday, I thought overall a better played game, really. Great goaltending on both sides, real defensive matchup. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with the power play goal in 7 chances there. But you end up losing 2-1 there on Saturday night in a really, really fun game that ends up coming down to a 6-on-4 with the power play and the pulled goaltender. And it was just like, my heart was in my throat thinking, this is it. They're going to get it. But coming up a little bit short there on Saturday night. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought we played a much cleaner game on Saturday, cleaner in terms of puck possession and what plays we were making with the puck. I thought we played more like we had expected Friday night to go. Staying right in there. The 2 goals we gave up, those are goals, like the first goal in particular, I just thought we defensively got a little out of position. That kid took a hell of a shot, and it was a rocket. But we stayed right in it again, and we're pushing back, and Boss A's goal was tremendous. High speed. Nielsen made a great play behind that kid's feet, and it was a really good goal, and I think the resilience of the group was really good. I thought for both nights, the team showed what resilience looks like, right? Where, and I think, and I've said this before, I think earlier in the year when we were in some of those things where maybe it was getting frustrating and stuff, guys went into shutdown mode, and I didn't find that we did that at all. So.
Well, resilience this time of year is certainly something that is beneficial. Yeah, well, I'm going to get to some practices and so on of this time of the season, or in the season, I should say. But I wanted to ask what you thought the difference was between Friday and Saturday night when it came specifically to the power play. How did the goals come so easily on the power play on Friday night and then coming up short, like I said, in 7 chances on Saturday?
It wasn't like we didn't have chances on the power play on Saturday, right? Like, that was the thing. We had some quality looks that, frankly, I expected we probably should have scored 2 or 3 power play goals, and I think we just either fanned on a shot, didn't get enough of it, made an extra pass where we probably just should have hammered the puck into the backside of the net, and so that's
I think there was one where there's a broken stick too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
A lot of weird things going on.
A lot of weird things. We got the rotations, we got the look we wanted. The 5-on-3, we were kind of, Zach and I were pretty worked up about that, right? Because we have some rotations we want to do, and we get off script on that, and that's got to be a situation when we get you don't get many of those. When they happen, it's got to pay, and it didn't pay off for us, and that's a problem for us, right? And so again, something we'll go back and we'll fix this week, and we had some pretty direct talks with the guys even during the game about what our expectations are on the guys who were there. I mean, we got some very high caliber players that we put in those roles and responsibilities, and our expectation is they deliver.
Right. Okay. Well, I wanted to ask just kind of a generic question here about practices and what they look like this time of the year and at this point in the season, as I was mentioning, because they've got to change. And I think I've asked other coaches this, and I think that they do. But what does a Steve Jennings coached team? How do they practice as the season goes along when it gets to be a grind?
Yeah.
And what do they look like?
So, we've been baking in over the last few weeks, less activity on Mondays. Mondays always is a recovery day. We do yoga every Monday. So the last few weeks we went and just said we'll just do yoga and no ice, and then the duration of our practices come down a little bit, right? The compete in the practice needs to go up to offset that a bit, right? So we don't really get into static practices or things like that. We are at this point, maybe on the Wednesday or Thursday, it might be a little slower dynamic because maybe we're walking through some of the coverages we want to go to, much like you might see on a football team or something like that, to put it in a reference point that maybe other people not really familiar with the game can understand, right?
Sure.
So we don't do pure walkthroughs, but when we see tendencies and we're starting to think we need to make an adjustment, we'll spend some time walking through those sort of things. But the main impact really, Jay, is that the duration of the practice goes down, right? So, start of the year we were out on the ice for kind of like an hour and a half, and so we're getting closer now to an hour. Right? Today we skated for just 30 minutes. So it's all about, and then the comeback with the kids is we'll give you a little bit more off, right, to help rest physically, but the other side is the mental side has to go up and the compete side has to go up. So today we did, like I said, a fairly short skate. It was all compete stuff, all just battle, not pure battle, but mini games and things like that just to make them work.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, we've got a couple of events coming up I wanted to touch on, one of which was always a lot of fun. And that is the Bowl with the Wings Aspire Bowling Tournament that is coming up this Sunday from 1 to 3, I believe it is, Sunday the 13th. I got to ask you, are you a bowler? Got a team together?
In events like this, I am a bowler for sure. I'll have to do this one left-handed, right? So it's always an adventure. So who knows which alley I'll be bowling in, but I'll be bowling for sure. I might be standing in one, and my ball might be in another one, going off speed there. But yeah, I enjoy bowling. I don't do it a lot, but when I go, it's always a fun thing.
Yeah, well, and this is a fun thing. Not a real competitive tournament by any means, but always a good time and a great way for fans to interact with the players to kind of actually get to know them and stuff. It's pretty cool. Also, the team active yesterday with a really great organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, where they are a group that makes sure that no child in our community has to sleep on a floor. It sounds like you guys were helping out a little bit with them, huh?
We did it as a staff thing yesterday, so it was really good. And we spent 2 hours just kind of sanding and prepping boards. So they're getting ready to go into a build sequence where they're going to build, and so we went and helped sand and prep boards there, and it's an amazing thing. I didn't even know it existed until we were connected last week, and their shop is super close to the rink here, and very special thing. And I was talking to I guess it was Zach afterwards, and I just said, I didn't come from a very wealthy family. We had what we needed, and mom and dad who loved us and took good care of us, but the one thing, everyone had their own bed, right?
Yeah.
And you don't really think about that sort of thing, about the amount of kids, and the stats that he was quoting to us, talking about how many kids in the area are either sharing a bed or they're on a mattress on a floor, or in a sleeping bag, that sort of stuff, right? Simple little thing like that, and what a difference it makes, and morale for people, right? So it was great to be able to go out there and do that.
Excellent. Another date coming up to keep in mind, folks. March 27th is the annual awards banquet that will be held at the Shrine here in Aberdeen. And you can get more information on that at the Wings website or on the Facebook page. Or you can give Aaron a call too, I think 380-5852 to reserve a table, and you get shot glass and some other cool stuff. Always fun at the awards banquet. So, Coach, the standings right now, St. Cloud at 61 points after going to overtime with Janesville yesterday. They have played 46 games. The Wings right now in second with 54 points in 48 games. Minot with 54 points in 50 games. Austin dropping down the rankings here. They are now at 51 points in 49 games. Then North Iowa, 48 points in 48 games, while Bismarck now has 47 points in 48 games. They are on the cusp of climbing out of the cellar and have been on a bit of a win streak here.
Yeah, they're on a wicked heater.
Yeah,
for sure.
And a team that you will face here at the ODI Center coming up and are on the season 3-4-0-1 against. Had some issues with them at times, and this Bismarck team is always a very competitive team, and some very competitive games between these two
spirited,
teams.
We'll say spirited.
That's a good word.
That's a
good word.
One, yeah.
But spirited games over the history of these two teams. So what do you expect from Bismarck, and what do you guys need to do?
Yeah, they're heating up for sure, right? They're getting some guys back from injury. They've had a couple of long-term injuries, and those guys are back, and you can see it because they're starting to pop up on the score sheet with frequency here. So, Wayne's been around a long time, so gets a lot out of his kids. So it'll be spirited, as we say, high compete. Just for us, it really goes back to what I keep saying every week. And not to cop out a broken record, but when we play the game the way we're supposed to play it, that's the primary thing we need to do, right? And so for us, I think, special teams battles are always going to be important for us. I think staying out of the box and not giving people momentum there. But really, we're back in the Odie this weekend, so getting on the scoreboard early and get the crowd involved and kind of getting the flow going quick is going to be an important part for us, right? And then staying in the fight.
Yeah.
Right. When there's adversity, staying in it and not checking out. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with the growth and the development of this group in that area. Right. Excellent. So that part's good.
Good. All right. Well, Coach, I think that again, that's about all I've got for you. But I appreciate you taking some time to talk with us, and good luck against Bismarck.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
All right. The second portion of Wings Weekly will continue after this.
We raise the bar on bar food with sandwiches, tenders, and there's more where this came from. To the greatest of all times.
Wings Weekly continues, and as usual, a player is joining me, and this time it is Adam Shuchart of St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate you taking some time with us here.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's get right into it. First of all, you've spent some time in the North American League. You were with the Danbury Junior Hat Tricks and recently at the NCDC, but I wanted to ask you about the differences between teams. It's always interesting to me when a guy comes from another team like the Danbury Junior Hat Tricks, like I mentioned, and then you come to Aberdeen. Not only the community, but the team itself. What are some of the major differences that stand out to you?
You had mentioned the community, and that's definitely the biggest difference. It's just the fan support and the environment you get to play in the Odie is second to none, really. And the team here is great. We have a lot of talent, really strong team, and it's a fun place to be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and your head coach when you were there was Anthony Bone, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Coach Bone was an assistant here in Aberdeen. So when I got to thinking, I'm like, I wonder if he ever said, "Hey, no, this is what you're going to run into," or something. But so it's again one of those situations where hockey's a small world, it seems like, and everybody seems to know everybody. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, how did you get your start? I always ask everybody that. When did you first start skating? What got you into the game?
So my dad was a hockey fan, and we were living in Philadelphia at the time, and his team, which was the Blues, came into town, and my dad took the family, and that was my first real exposure to the game, and started to like it. The first time I ever skated actually was we were on vacation in Ocean City, Maryland, and went and skated a couple times. And first time on the ice, I fell and cracked my chin open and got a couple stitches. So great introduction to the game.
Yeah, love that. But you came back, right?
I came back to it.
Well, and we're certainly glad that you did. Defenseman, when did you start kind of focusing on the blue line? When was there a shift? Would you ever spend any time as a forward?
I've pretty much always been a defenseman. If you ask my dad, he'll say it's because I'm slow. I'll say it's because I like to see the ice and have everything in front of me. And that's a big thing for me. I've playing other sports too. I was a catcher in baseball when I was younger. Played quarterback in football, so I'm kind of just always used to being able to survey and see, the playing field or ice and kind of have everything in front of me.
Well, I think generally speaking, a lot of people would say that to be a defenseman, usually you have to be a pretty darn good skater, actually. So that's the transitioning and all that kind of stuff that is needed to be done. So, what would you say your style is? Because when I watch, I feel like you're a little bit more of a stay-at-home kind of defenseman than, say, someone like Gilson, who is in on the play an awful lot. Not that you don't join in, but there's different styles to defensemen. How would you describe yours?
Yeah, I think I'm a two-way defenseman. I think I can kind of adapt and play different roles when needed. I try to take care of my own end first and be physical when I can be. But breaking pucks out is huge in the game today. So trying to transition the puck up ice, and then when I get opportunities to get up in the rush and join and try to help with the offense, do that when I can.
Absolutely, excellent, nice balance there. Okay, this is a question I've been asking guys lately, and I like the answers that I've been getting. So I wanted to ask you, in all your years of playing hockey, no matter where it's at, whether it's AAA or here with the Wings or wherever, what would you say is your favorite hockey memory? And even if it may not even have anything to do with juniors, maybe it was with the family skating somewhere sometime. What would you say your favorite memory is when it comes to the sport?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Any like big games or anything like that you can, or maybe one that you scored a bunch of goals or anything like that stands out?
So my senior game at prep school was a fun game. We actually ended up losing 7-6 in OT. So wow. I mean it was a crazy game, but that was a fun one. But my parents made the trip up to when I was in prep school. Made the trip up for that, and I scored a couple of goals, got 2 goals and an assist that game. So that was fun to have a good game in front of the family. Yeah,
and an intense one too. It sounds like going to overtime. That's very cool. All right, so take hockey now out of the equation. What would you say? What's a dream job? What's something that you would love to do, or you can see yourself doing 20 years from now, or whatever?
I'm pretty into fitness, so I think being a small business owner and being able to like have my own gym and just kind of stay local. I think that would be a really cool thing. And I'm a pretty outgoing guy, so just be able to be involved in community and interact and help people, achieve their goals and get into shape and do whatever they want. I'm
really big on fitness too. I'm a workout junkie. Yeah, not so much. But that's great. An entrepreneur, like you say, that you're able to work with people on a personal level, but doing something you're passionate about too.
Absolutely.
All right, now going from fitness to foods that aren't good for you. What would you say is a guilty pleasure? Something that you're like, man, I know this is not the healthiest thing I'm going to eat, but I love it so much.
Anything from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah?
Chick-fil-A guy. I'll take and I can dip anything in Chick-fil-A sauce and I'll eat it. That's my go-to.
It's the sauce that makes it.
The sauce brings everything together.
I mean,
it does.
Because otherwise it's just a chicken sandwich, but really, I mean, not just a chicken sandwich, but that's what makes it stand out.
Absolutely.
All right, now, what would you say is your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday? Halloween.
Halloween.
Like,
why?
Just like dressing up, doing something fun, going and seeing what other people have, trying to be creative, and in years I've done some fun group costumes and just trying to be funny and keep it light and have a good time.
Very cool. Okay, now we're going to combine the two, okay?
Okay.
So what holiday has the best food or candy?
Ooh.
Because, I mean, you look at the cookies and stuff with Christmas, but then you got Easter and Reese's eggs and jelly bean. Every holiday, not every, but
everything's good. Honestly, 4th of July for me. I'm a big, barbecue and grill out kind of guy. So nothing like sitting outside and grilling up some burgers and hot dogs and just having a good time.
Excellent, like that one. It was not one that crossed my mind. In fact, it crossed my mind, but I thought that would be one that probably wouldn't be picked, and then there it was. Love that. Okay, what's your favorite thing to do, like away from hockey, like say in the off season, whatever, like when you've got time to is it video gaming? Is it what's do you like to travel? Like that's kind of weird to think about you guys traveling, because you're traveling all the time,
Yeah, exactly. We travel so much that honestly, whenever I get the time off from you said in the off season training and working and everything, I'm not a big video game guy. So when I get the chance, just relaxing and watching some TV. I'm a pretty big movie guy, so just throwing on a few movies is always a good way for me to kill time.
Well, the last 2 weeks I've hung guys up with which are the top 3 movies, but I'm not going to go there with you because I watched them.
We could be here all day on that one.
Yeah. All right. Here's kind of a goofy question for you. All right. I've got 2 of them, in fact. Would you rather win $100,000 or have one of your friends win $500,000, but you can't get any of it?
That depends on the friend.
Yeah.
If they're a good friend that that's going to take care of me, I'll go with that. But I don't know. I'll take the $100,000 and I'll try to gamble on myself with that.
That's a very valid point. It does depend upon the friend.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. But all right, now another one. In a fight, who wins, a bear or a tiger? We'll go grizzly bear here too.
I think a bear.
Yeah.
I think a grizzly bear. Those things are huge and they can run, they can climb. I think a grizzly bear is a deadly foe for pretty much anything.
I don't think that there's a bad answer to this, because I mean, tigers, I think of them as being nimble and faster than a grizzly bear. But then, like you said, that bear gets a hold of that thing. You never know. It's sort of like the old. Who would win in a fight, Superman or Minnie Mouse, or not Minnie Mouse, Mighty Mouse? Anyway, all right, we've gone through some of the the goofy questions for sure. Some of the hockey stuff. You're on the downhill side of the season here. I mean, the reality is that the regular season is coming to an end, and the big playoff push is going to be coming up, and things get a little more intense. Coaches and I were talking that this time of year, with the Central Division being as close as it is, it almost starts to feel like the playoffs are already here.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel like you guys as a team need to do to stay in that second place, or even take over first place in the standings, and stay strong and finish out the year?
Yeah, it kind of feels like we've been playing playoff hockey since the Christmas break, with how tight the division is. And I like the way we've been playing. When we play the way we're supposed to, and we play hard and heavy, and play with pace and get pucks north, and we're shutting things down in our D zone and playing responsibly. I think we're a tough team to beat.
Good to hear. Good to hear, because again, it's going to get even more intense, I got a feeling. How about family? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to everybody. Mom, dad, brother Ethan, grandparents. They're all big supporters and big Wings fans.
Excellent. Love to hear that. All right. Well, Adam, I appreciate you coming on the show here, and good luck against Bismarck. And I know you guys have very busy schedules and so on. So again, I appreciate you taking some time to come on and let people get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You bet. Well, folks, the Wings are back home at the Odie this weekend as we host the Bismarck Bobcats. Doors open at 5:30 both Friday and Saturday night, with the puck hitting the ice at 7:15. Friday, it's our Military Appreciation Night. Show a valid military ID for a $5 general admission ticket at the door. We welcome Redfield Post 92 as the game's color guard. Plus, we'll be recognizing the Aberdeen Cougar Pee Wee C state champions during our first intermission. We also welcome Ray Hybrids as the game's corporate sponsor inside the Automax party deck. Saturday, it's college night. Show your student ID at the door for a $5 general admission ticket. We welcome we welcome House of Glass as the game's corporate sponsor inside the Automax party deck. Plus, we welcome fans to stick around after the game to skate with the Wings. Get your tickets ahead of the weekend's games online at tickets.aberdeenwings.com or at the door on game nights. You can also get $10 general admission tickets at any Sea Express location in Aberdeen with additional purchase. A few corporate night sponsorships are still available in 2022. Call Aaron at 380-5852 to see what's open. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the latest news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now on TikTok. Once again, Adam Shuchart, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.